No, keep it going, keep it going. So I appreciate the fact that that was the song that you felt inspired to, because it ties perfectly in. I love y'all. Just I appreciate and love you. So, you see that? How many of us have been in that position? Now, the interesting thing is, for some folks, it's a 9, and for some other folks, it's a 6. But I know at least one person, it's a G. I'm not going to say no names, but like it can be. Next slide. One shape, but how many truths? Next. One shape, 3 shadows this time, but which one's true? One more. Which is correct? And last one. See, the point is, depending on what we're looking for and what we're looking with, is going to determine what we see and what we experience. To someone expecting to find lack and scarcity, yes, it's half empty. To someone who sees the wealth of all that the universe is, it's half full. And someone may even do what Rich did and say, well, no, but it's full because there's air and there's water. But to a molecular scientist, the water is molecules, the air is molecules, the glass is molecules, the space around it is molecules. What would happen if we did that with our lives? And then even beyond that is the quantum field. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, Ray, it is fine to do this when you're talking about glass and water and 9s and such. But how does that apply to my real life? I heard you, I know. Real life, 1. I told you recently, Tracy and I were in a car accident. Now, it's real easy to be in a car accident and be like, oh my goodness, oh woe is me. As soon as, now first, I don't know if I told you this or not, but as I saw the car coming, I did my best Luke Skywalker impersonation. I did my best to use the Force. It didn't work, but I tried. And that's probably why I fell, because Yoda said, do or do not. There is no try. And that, anyhow, that's all different. But the point being, the accident happened. I knew I was okay immediately. No blood, I'm good. So I immediately jumped out of the car to run around and make sure Tracy was okay, because I couldn't tell if there was a fire or the dust from the airbag. I didn't know. So I immediately jumped into protect my sister mode. And as I told you before, when the paramedics and the firefighters and the state troopers were shocked to find out that we weren't broken because they saw the accident happen, they referred to us as lucky. And how many times did I tell you I let that slide?
3.
I let it slide twice. They don't, I was like, oh, no. We're blessed. That's one way that it shows up. Second way it shows up, when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, it's easy to focus on cancer. It's a big word. But rather than choose to put my energy solely into that, I did the wide view and said, yes, this and all of this. How do I tap into the infinite possibility of what health and well-being means? Even if this is the ticket by which I leave this planet, how do I live my best life nonetheless? How do we expand the field of possibilities rather than focusing on single things? We do it all the time. How many of us drive? When you are driving, what are you focused on? Or do you expand your field of awareness to be able to drive, talk to the person sitting beside you, forget where you're even going, and somehow magically end up home nonetheless? Because we expand. We don't singular issue, singular problem, singular health concern. We know how to do this. Anyone ever been to an optometrist? Okay, now I don't know when or how this happens, but at a certain age, according to what my optometrist said to me, once you reach 58, there's a test, and then once I reach 59, there's a whatever. Anyhow, so she said, there's a particular machine where they don't dilate your eyes, and you sit there and your head's in the thing, and you're supposed to see when the dots show up in the periphery. Anybody familiar with this thing? I hate that machine. After service today, we're going to get together and we're going to find all the machines. Now, anyhow, and you're supposed to click every time you see a light. Now, the test is going to fail if you try to find the lights. So you have to let your gaze soften enough to take in all of it. We already do this stuff. Everything that Unity teaches, everything that New Thought teaches, everything that religious science teaches, all of it, this thing called God, we already do it. But why, Ray? But how is this possible? Because we are it. There is no it and us. There is only it. If I were to ask Michelle, which I'm not, but if I put Michelle on the spot and said, Michelle, come here for a second, stand right here. And I were to ask you to locate where is human being? Where do we start to cut and dissect to find, did you know this sock was in there? Where do we cut to find human being? It's not in us. Now I know, yes, we do for linguistic convenience, we reference God as being within and the Spirit within, yes. And it's not just in us. It is us. Because if we could separate it, then that means God is a duo, or trio, or quartet, or choir. I don't know music very well. But what is it once you get, never mind. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. It would be that versus a oneness. And precisely because it is a oneness, it's everything that you are. That means your word is the word of the universe. So when we take that Bible passage, Nancy may remember this one from, because we did in Christian days back in the, when we would say things like, you have the power of life and death in your tongue. You have the ability to speak curses or blessings in your life. How are you using your words? Your perception, your perspective, how you view not just life, but how you view you is how you view God. Breathe that in. If God is all there is, that's what we teach, that's what we practice, that's what we study. If God is all there is, then that's God looking in the mirror every morning. That's God who had some messed up pizza Saturday night and throughout the night was in the bathroom for 7 hours getting rid of pizza. That too is God. God is the person experiencing the headache, the person sitting in traffic and fussing and cussing. All of that is God as you. But our invitation, as the magnificent singers performed, our invitation is to don't simply see a tree for being a tree. Any botanists in the room? Okay. Many of us can go outside in a garden and we spot the weeds. We spot those pesky weeds that need to be uprooted and gotten rid of. But to a botanist, they see medicines. They see how a dandelion can be used to make medicine and tea and all manner of things. They don't simply see it's a weed, get rid of it. Can we see not just the tree, but the divinity expressing in, through, and as the tree? Can we do the same thing with us? Can we look at ourselves? Can we experience ourselves and say, not only is my glass not half empty, even though my bank account says I got 6 cents left, phone bills due, Reverend Ray, focus me. Even though whatever conditions are going on, we are 1,000% full of, as, with that which is the universe, that which is God, that which is spirit. Call it whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. That's what we are. And in that, we have the invitation to say, how am I choosing to use that? It would have been very easy for Bob and Shannon to say, at some point, we could do this sing thing. Like, we both got great voices and we could sing, but, I'm really feeling a job at McDonald's. And all of us would look at them and say, excuse me? No, that is not your calling. That is not how you share your gift. But how many of us don't recognize our gifts and are then operating as though our glass not only is half empty, but we may be experiencing it as though it's completely empty, even though it never can truly be empty? For example, when my mom died on Father's Day 2020, my family pretty much just disowned me, basically. Like, that was the last final connectivity with my biological family. It would have been very easy, and trust, I did go there for a moment of, wow, I'm in this alone. Wow. Fast forward, cancer diagnosis. There was a moment in there, yes, fear showed up, anger showed up, because there was a time when Tracy and I were talking about, eating beets and drinking smoothies and whatnot, and Tracy says something, and I'm trying to stay alive. Like, the anger came out. I was mad because this thing called cancer somehow had chosen to manifest in me, and I was mad and scared. Not necessarily scared of death or whatnot, but scared that, man, I'm not going to get to see Bob and Shannon perform anymore. I'm not going to get to see the grandkids anymore. I'm not going to get to speak at Unity by the Bay anymore. I'm not going to get to enjoy this thing called life anymore. I got things I want to do. See, the thing is, when it comes up, rather than blame and shame ourselves for feeling anger, someone cut you off in traffic, and you found the magic finger. Yes, it may happen, but do not blame or shame yourself. Recognize, why did I do that? Why was anger the response, and why did it come out that way? I'm not a magician. Why did it come out that way? That's our invitation to go within linguistic convenience. Go to that space of infinite awareness that says, how well do I know me, and how well am I letting some programming run the boat instead of me steering? It's an invitation. Part of being human, part of this thing called humanity, is the vast range of emotions. We're not meant to be myopic and focus on one singular thing for all of life. You ever seen a juggler before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so while they're juggling, which of their balls are you staring at? Watch it. What are you staring at? What are you watching?
The chainsaw.
The chainsaw, right? But you're taking the whole thing in, right? Like, it's a panoramic view. Just like right here, right now. There's something that your eyes are focused on. By the way, who won? Anyhow, we'll talk about that. But we take in all of. In the same way that when Bob and Shannon were playing, many closed their eyes, but you were still able to absorb. You were still able to take it in. Does Bob focus on one string? And then one chord? No! It's the open expansiveness of both and. And not only both and this, but that and this and breath and all of it together. That's That's our invitation. How do we step into living our lives where we allow that which is the very gift of the universe to move through us, in us, and as us at all times? Even those times when we don't recognize it, it's still there. God's still there. Life is still there. Love is still there. Whether we recognize it or not, just like nighttime comes. And, oh my goodness, Judy, for dost thou not realize the sun is gone, we are cast into darkness for shame. To which Judy then says, the sun is still there. But Judy, Ray, I know how much you like songs. Breathe with me. The sun will come out. Thank you, Judy. Right? Like, we recognize this stuff. We know this stuff. Just because an appearance may seem to be a thing, doesn't mean it's factually or truthfully or capital T, truthfully. Our invitation is to determine which of these is the one I am choosing to live my life by. Diagnosis, prognosis. I'm going to go over here and do this thing because y'all don't even have a word for what I want to do, so I'm going to invent one. What are we going to do? A relationship breaks up. Something happens. Whatever that is. How are we consciously choosing to align with and connect with in our thoughts and our words, in our emotions and feelings and our actions with that which is the desired experience we want, not just for ourselves, but for all of creation? Because it doesn't make any difference if Rita and I, we got food. Like, we can sit down and eat anytime we want. We can go to the pantry, grab some stuff, and we make sandwiches and all kind of stuff anytime we want, any time of day, anytime. Doesn't make any difference, right? But that person, they haven't eaten in 3 days. They should hold themselves up by their own bootstraps like we did. They should be meditating. Here's a daily word. Read that. Change your thinking, change your life. Right? But many in our teaching, that's the frame of reference. That's not going to heal the world. Why did Yeshua, why did he say, Reverend Ray remix? Because I'm not going to quote the way he said it. I don't speak that much Aramaic. Anyhow, mess with me. So look, you know how y'all were treating them? I was hungry, you gave me nothing. I was naked, you gave me nothing. I was thirsty, I was in jail, and. But Lord, when did we know? No, we would have invited you in. It was Christmas. To which he said, I told you it was a Reverend Ray remix. That's not what goes on in my head. To which he said, whatever you have done to the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you have done unto me. Why? What's the phrase, Shannon? That. Enlakesh Elakin. That. I am another you, you are another me. We are each other. That's why I say, no, I am not my brother's keeper. You know, when the whole, where is your brother? I'm not my brother's keeper. That whole Cain Abel story. That's why I am not my brother's keeper. I am not my sister's keeper. I am not the keeper of my gender non-conforming, gender-rich, non-binary sibling. I am them, they are me. If we don't start treating one another as the divine, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. And what did Einstein say? The definition of cooking for Cocoa Puffs is you keep squeezing that orange thinking apple juice is going to come out. It ain't never going to be. Or something like that. You get the idea. So breathe for a second. And simply let it wash over you. This idea that says, I am that which is the infinite. I am that which is the universe itself, experiencing itself as me. I am my neighbor is me. My neighbor's dog, we are each other. The tree in the back, we are each other. The person wearing the white cloaked garment with KKK on the chest, I am them, they are me. Because we are all the divine expressing. No matter who or what, wherever, whenever, there is only one power and only one presence, God, that which is infinite goodness itself, omnipresence itself, omnipotence itself, omniscience itself, and what it is, we must be. Breathe. So with this breath, which we have no concern regarding, is there going to be enough air for the next one? You simply breathe. And that which the universe is tends to its own needs as us. It supplies what it needs in the form of this thing called oxygen. It animates our lungs, its lungs, as us, to expand and contract. Yin, yang. And with the certainty of we relax into this breath, we consciously choose in this moment to relax into the divine. It is there, it is here, it is everywhere, it is all there is. From the top of our heads to the soles of our feet. The surface of our skin, down through the muscles, the tendons, the bones, down to the molecules, the quantum particles and waves. All God. This voice, God. The way we love, God. The way we listen attentively, God. The way we share, God. The way we serve as 21st century New Thought Good Samaritans. God. Breathe. And so it is. So we continue to breathe. And breathe that in. Aho. Amen. Om Shanti Om. Breathe it in with such power that we realize that we don't simply say these words, we are these words in action. We are the amen that shows up in the world. With such power and such clarity, we don't simply drink from our cup. We drink from our saucer because our cup runneth over. It runneth over with love and joy, community, family, ohana. It overflows with peace on earth, goodwill to all. It overflows with sacredness, divinity, oneness. And what it is, we are. So we are the ones called forth to bring this love and this joy and this power out there. Take it to Wawa. So Wawa is not only Wawa, but it becomes wisdom activated, wonderment achieved. We are the ones who you get to change the very tapestry of the universe. Yea, us. And so it is.